Do you remember the days when March used to be a time of hope in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market? The weather was turning, homeowners started bringing listings to market because those listing pictures just looked fabulous. Buyers were getting out there from their winter slumber, and the market really started to pick up and set the tone for that year's spring market. Well, the 2020s have totally flipped the script on March, bringing it from a time of hope to a time of despair. Think back to 2020, start of the pandemic lockdowns. People had no idea what was going on. The market pumped the brakes hard. Prices crashed for a hot minute. Fast forward to 2022, after the massive recovery, that was the start of the current correction or crash that we are in. And just when you think things couldn't get any worse, March 2025 has a chance to go down as the worst month in GTA real estate history. And I'm going to cover all of that in today's video. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, my name's Rob Marsiglio. I'm a sales representative with Valerie Real Estate out here in Durham region. Every week on this channel, I want to break down the numbers to give you some actionable insights into what is happening in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market. So if that's the type of content that you enjoy or get value out of, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss updates going forward. March 2025 saw the fewest reported sales for any March going back to at least 2008. And that's just as far back as I've been tracking these numbers. There's been thoughts that this may be the worst March that we've ever seen since somewhere in the late 90s. And when you break it down, it's hard to find a kind of ray of sunshine in these numbers. Condo sales, it's the second slowest March according to the MLS since 2009. But the freehold sales, it's a good 1,000 sales less than the previous slowest March we've ever seen, which was just last year in 2024. Now, the one metric that kind of looks normal this March compared to previous Marches, and again, it is on the high end because of the condo market, but new listings entered in March. We didn't see kind of an overabundance of freehold listings come to market in March. You know, that 10,439 kind of slots right in with the average that we saw from 2008 to 2020. We saw that massive spike in listings in 2021 and in 2022 before things started to correct. We've had very low and tight new listing inventory in 2023 and 2024, but 2025 kind of saw a return to normality when it comes to those freehold listings. It's on the condo side where, we saw almost 7,000 new listings. It was the most new listings that we've seen in a March on the condo side since going back to 2008. And while you may want to pause the video and go back and check those two charts out, I've also put something together to show you reported sales as a percentage of new listings entered. That's that SNLR metric. And remember, below 40% in this next chart is a buyer's market, technically by this stat. Between 40 and 60% is a balanced market. And over 60% is a technical seller's market. That's when they start to get the advantage, really tight inventory conditions, lots of buyers out there still looking, and sellers are in the driver's seat in that case. You probably guessed it, but this March, the freehold market saw an SNLR of just over 30%, and condos are just over 26%. Again, this is by far the slowest sales March relative to new listings coming to market that we've seen since 2008. And it gets really interesting when you look at March versus February, and I'll kind of flip back and forth between these charts. So here's March again, there's February. You can see that SNLR in March actually came down from where it was in February on both the freehold and the condo side, meaning, people were still trying to bring listings to market at a higher clip in March than we were in February, but the buyers just did not show up to kind of absorb that inventory coming to market. And there are a few reasons for this that we've been talking about at our office meetings, within our brokerage, Trump, tariffs, and then just general uncertainty because we are in a federal election cycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link down in the description of this video to a survey. So if you are a home buyer who has had their plans kind of paused because of everything that is going on, it might be a good survey for you to check out. Even if you're not in that situation, check the survey out over on Valerie. We're trying to put together some fresh data, some fresh insights to share with you all, and I'll try to share those in a future video. To recap very quickly what we just went through, sales, very, very low, record lows across freehold and pretty much the condo market as well, especially when you look at that per capita. New listings hovering around average, kind of what we're used to seeing, the condo side seeing much more inventory than we usually see, but freeholds kind of holding pretty steady to historical trends. It's actually terminations and expiries that have skyrocketed this March relative to previous Marches. And here's what I mean by that. So 2022, again, the start of the big correction that we saw, that we're currently going through across the GTA, saw just shy of 5,800 terminations and expiries of listings. 2025 saw just shy of 7,700. So you're talking almost 2,000 more listings and expiries. You can see a lot of that difference. All of that difference is because of the condo market, which is definitely suffering the most, but still it's the second most freehold terminations and expiries that we've seen. That's this 4,297 number that you're seeing down here. So again, what this tells me is that some sellers are still holding on for prices. I know we're seeing a lot of list low, try offer nights, properties on the market for a week. They're not getting the number they want, especially out here in Durham region, working with people in that kind of entry level price point. So I'm talking, call it less than $900,000. You'll see a property listed for $699. We do our CMA, our comparative market analysis on that property to try to determine what it's going to go for. Sellers' expectations are often above that number. And that's reflected when a week after posting this offer night price, the listing is taken down and relisted at, 10, 15% more than the original list price. So as long as sellers have the kind of financial capabilities and the ability to keep terminating or letting listings expire and bringing them back to market at a higher price, that tells me that we're not going to see massive price movements until we see these terminations and expiries numbers come down, because it means, I think, that maybe they're not capitulating, but sellers are kind of realizing that there's this gap between what buyers can pay or want to pay and what sellers are expecting. So it's when we see that gap close that we'll see kind of termination numbers come down, in my opinion, sales numbers start to pick up, and then a true reflection of what prices truly are. And we're going to touch on prices in just a little bit, so stick with me. One last chart before we do get to those prices has to do with sales relative to those terminations. So a property comes off of the MLS when it is either terminated, it expires, or it is sold. So those are kind of the three big options to permanently take a property off of the MLS. There's also suspensions, but it's a much smaller percentage, so I didn't include it in this chart or in these numbers. But take a look at March 2025 compared to the kind of 17 years prior. Home sales accounted for less than 40% of all properties that came off of the market. And you can see that this number has never been lower than 53.5% that we saw in March of 2009. That number is usually, I'd say normally above 65%, hovering in and around 65% at the low. 2018 was a little bit lower than that too, but you're seeing numbers anywhere from 65% up to 84% in that March peak that we saw back in 2017. So just because we're seeing more inventory come to market doesn't mean that sellers are willing to accept those prices that buyers are offering right now. And, I find it fascinating to see that it's less than 40% of all properties coming off the market that are coming off because they've sold. That means 60% of listings that came off the market in March 2025 were either terminated or expired. We'll wrap things up with this chart from the Habistat, which looks at, this is all property types broken down. So not all property types, of detached, semi-detached, row townhomes. These are the freehold ones, this light blue line. Then we go down to condo townhomes and condo apartments. And you can see how the median price across Durham, Halton, Peel, Toronto, and York have trended since the start of 2023. Everybody is up relative to that 2023 price, with the exception of the condo apartment market in the Greater Toronto area. But again, prices trending up through the start of the year, just like you're used to seeing in a spring market. And I think this speaks to the fact that the properties that are selling is because the sellers are getting the price they want. Like that seems obvious to say, but if sellers had to accept the prices that buyers were willing to pay for every single property, and we weren't seeing 60% of listings being terminated, I feel like this median price line would be even a little flatter than we're seeing right now, and maybe down across more property types. And very quickly, just because I don't have anything labeled, here's a comparison of where we're at in January 2025 versus where we're at now in March 2025. So detached homes, the median price has gone up about $60,000. On the semi-detached side, we're seeing prices up around $28,000, we'll call it. On the attached kind of townhome side, prices up about 15 grand. Condo apartments are up just $1,000, about $1,200 from the start of the year, and condo townhomes are actually flat from January to March. Now, I love building these charts, and it's tough to fit everything I want to into one single video. So if you are interested in seeing how prices have moved across all the different segments in a specific region, leave a comment below or reach out by email. I have all my information in the description of this video. I'm happy to put something custom together for you so you can see, whether it's where you're living that you want to monitor or it's an area you may be looking to purchase in. Click that link to either book a call with me or send me an email or leave a comment with the region that you want this information for. One more reminder, don't forget to check out that survey that Valerie has put out in the comments below, just about kind of buyer motivations. Are they pausing because of all this kind of geopolitical and economic uncertainty we're seeing? Are you going through with plans? What does that look like for you right now? And lastly, one more reminder, if you did get some value out of this video, you enjoyed the content, please like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I try to, bring some analytics and data to you every single week so that you are more informed about your home buying, home selling, or home leasing journey. Once again, thank you so much for sticking with me right through to the end of another video. Until we speak again next time, please stay safe and cheers.